thanks so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me featuring some brand new makeup. If you tuned into my haul yesterday, thank you so much if you did. I tried on a few of the products that I picked up. I tried on the CLE De Peau Brightening, what is this called? Brightening Enhancer Veil. And I actually have no foundation on today because I followed up with a new GUERLAIN product right here. This is the Terracotta Light, and this is in 01 Light Warm. And I actually look a little bit more tan than normal because of this. So you're gonna see how this looks directly on the skin. Well, not directly, but on top of the SPF. And then we are also trying out this product by Chanel. This is the new RêVE de CAMÉLIA. So let's go ahead and just get started. I used this last night and this morning in my skincare routine, the Brightening Serum Supreme by CLE De Peau. So we're gonna see how that works over time. But so far it absorbs really nicely into the skin and feels really nice. Of course, I went in with moisturizer on top of that. I used the Bio Lifting Plus Cream by CHANTECAILLE. So we're gonna go in with the Brightening Enhancer Veil. I have to admit, I tried this on before I took my shower just because I was so curious about it. Yeah, you can see right there. I have an idea how we can try a new product and see maybe how we can get them to work together. I'm gonna do half burst just so you can see. Okay, so there is half. And it is a little bit more exaggerated, this white cast, because of the lights. I'm gonna go ahead and add to the other side, and then we'll go in with concealer and the powder, the GUERLAIN powder. So let's see, I'm just curious, and then I know how to fix this if it's not gonna work, but I just wanted to experiment and see how that works. And then I think it'll give us a good idea of the powder by itself or just on top of SPF. So let me finish the other side. Okay, so we've got the SPF on now, definitely a white cast, and I can see it here. I added a little more because I feel like I need to be quite generous when it comes to SPF. So I added a little bit, but let's wait, let me see. I wanna see over time, like let's give it 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so, to see how this looks after a little bit of time, to see if it stays this way or not. Because sometimes time is an element, sometimes it's not, but let's see. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes and I don't think there's a difference. Although I have a couple of things to note about this. One pro is that I think my skin looks nice and healthy, like the texture of it. It didn't dull the skin at all, so I think you can see it reflecting. It's not greasy feeling, it really absorbed quite nicely. However, if you have any texture or places anything might collect, like right up here above my eyebrows, there's a little bit of collecting of the more bright components in here. So just make sure you work this in really well. But when it comes to SPF that brightens, I'm willing to compromise on things like this. I'm okay with that on an everyday basis because I'm not filming every day. Because when I do go with a little bit more natural makeup in the evening, my skin is more perfected to begin with and I can wear less makeup. So I'm gonna go with concealer and then let's try that GUERLAIN powder. That's probably how I would wear this. I'm just anticipating it's gonna be okay. I would do this and then put a powder on with a little bit more color, like this one, which I will use quite a bit because it's a little bit deeper. The lid came off of here. It's the SISLEY powder in the shade 3 Sandy. It's a little bit deep for me, so I would just go in with a deeper powder. If you tuned into that luxury beauty tag video, this is the concealer I was talking about. The SISLEY under eye concealer that doesn't require powder, which I love so much. Next, we're going with CLE De Peau concealer in Mocha on my darker areas. So we've got concealer on, so you can see why I feel like concealer is so powerful for me. No foundation on right now, but it looks pretty even. More even than if I had just applied foundation, just because of the dark spots. We're gonna go in now with this though. I am so curious. So this does have warmth to it, and I'm gonna go in with the brush. So someone let me know that you like this brush. I just think that it's gonna pick up a lot. Usually when the brushes are more firm like this and not as soft, they typically pick up a lot of product. So as expected, it picked up a lot, and you can see it's quite powdery. So hopefully you can see the powder there. It's quite powdery and how much it lifted off of there. Oh, and the camera's going a little bit cool, so it's not this cool. Oh, actually, let's apply it here first because it talked about applying just on the cheekbones as if the sun had hit. And you can see it adds color. If you are lighter than me, then this might be a good color, and you can see the warmth there. So I want to try this kind of like I would use the Hourglass product. Actually, that didn't go up yet, but I filmed a favorites and I included an Hourglass powder because I go in with a sunscreen product, and then I go in with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder and Radiant Light to warm it up. So let's try this as if it were that type of product. But you can see it gets loaded on really quickly. It's not as scratchy as I thought it would be, actually. So that's good. Okay, yeah, much softer than I thought it would be. Yeah, I'm surprised. Okay, so this is actually quite nice. So this actually has quite a lovely subtle glow. I thought it would have more, I don't know, more of a glow, but it's really pretty. And if you're looking for something with that warmth, so let me just pause here. The camera's having trouble with the lighting. But you can see how pretty that is and how warm it is, especially compared to my neck. Yeah, it's very, very peachy. Let me even out the sides. But be careful because I'm ending up, can you see right there? It does pick up a lot, so you kind of have to be careful with how you apply it. If you stamp like I do, you're gonna end up with a lot in one spot. This does feel nice ergonomic as well. Okay, ooh, and you can see that this actually loads on quite a bit of color, doesn't it? Yeah, I wonder, wow. I wonder if anything deeper would be too deep for me because I feel like I look pretty tan right now. Yeah, even though I started off with that very light CLE De Peau SPF, this is like, look at that, that's deeper than me. Maybe this was the right shade. Huh. Yeah, I saw nowhere in the directions you're supposed to put this all over your face, but we were experimenting and I thought it would be helpful to see the color. And it's actually working quite nicely on top of texture. So again, just an experiment. So for me, not important to follow directions exactly to the T or at all on makeup products. As long as I can get them to do something for me, whatever that is, I will go ahead and just make adjustments. I don't like foundation down my neck, but I don't mind powder. And I can see my neck is not as peachy toned, so I'm gonna take this down my neck. Okay, so I quite like this for a healthy glow. It looks like I've been out in the sun, I think. And there's nothing sparkly in here. Lovely. So really pretty, healthy glow. I'm gonna add eyebrows, add my eye base, and then I've gotta add the PRAIRIE Concealer. I haven't done that yet, so let me add those few things and I'll be right back. But yeah, it looks actually quite like a nice weekend daytime look. I really like that. I like this powder. So for those wondering, this adds color. This is 01 Light Warm. Actually, I quite like the way that this powder looks. I almost think it's too deep. If it was a little bit lighter, what a pretty finish on this because it looks quite natural. It feels very comfortable. Plus I've got that SPF under there. Yeah, let's see how this turns out though, because this is a bit deeper than I normally am. I do want to use the BYREDO palette again. There's one more look I wanted to do with that. So actually, let me do that eye really quickly. I'm going to attach that to the BYREDO video. Oh, this will be interesting because my complexion's so tan. But I'm going to add that to the BYREDO video, this portion right here. Okay, if you would like to see this eye look, it'll be with the BYREDO video. This palette, I've been using it quite a bit. I think I did like 4 or 5 looks with this, and so this will be the last one. And then we'll finally talk about the palette, but I want to take a bit of the blur powder and just maybe brighten this a little bit. Mattify just in the center here. It's a lot of glow for me. Really pretty though, really like it. And I'm gonna take the CLE De Peau 105 blush. Okay, and then let's find a lip and then finally we'll go in with the highlighter. I almost actually forgot about that highlighter because I was having so much fun with this eyeshadow. Okay, so let me find a lip. We'll try this for now. This is number, oh gosh, this is 812. This is in the new Chanel lip product. Yeah, I really like the combination of the SPF and that powder. I think they worked really well. Again, no foundation. Finally going in with RêVE de Camellia. Look how gorgeous. Really, really pretty shade. I just checked the link too. It seems to go to pre-order. So if you wanted to pre-order this, give it a try. It worked for me. And I did this on my phone. So I know before when I tried to click it, it would go pre-order and then quickly to coming soon. But now it looks like the pre-order is staying. So it looks like you can pre-order if you'd like. Use the mini kabuki brush and apply to the tops of cheekbones, cupid's bow, and temples. And that's nice. After you kind of swirl it in there, the pattern still looks pretty intact, which is nice. And I have some on the brush, so let's go ahead and add. Pretty. It does look like it's born from a liquid product. I don't know if it was, but it does have that effect. Of course, if you have texture, you'll probably get some emphasizing of the texture. It's not bad, but it just because it's reflective. Dry skin types, let me smile here so you can see, but it does have a much more dense kind of reflective property versus more scattered, which I thought it might be based on the swatch, but it's quite tight in terms of the reflective particles. And let's go down the nose. And then cupid's bow. Then I'm going to apply it right above the eyebrows. Actually, this brush is quite nice too. Really nice, very soft. I just want to add a little bit of highlighter to the inner corner. We've got the finished look here. I am loving this eye just because it's so fun. It's much more dramatic than my normal everyday eye looks, but that's what I love about that BYREDO palette, which I think I'll post that, I don't know, in the very near future. I've still got to compile everything, but I am having so much fun with that palette. This CLE De Peau product is, let me see, I have pros and cons about it. It does leave a white cast on me, which doesn't go away with time. It does collect in some places, but the fact that it brightens, I like that. And I think it made my skin look really healthy, like the texture of it. So I liked that glow. So I'll probably use this all up. This might be my new daily routine. I usually use the Color Science Even Up. It does have more SPF and also has brightening. So we're gonna see which one kind of wins out between this and the Even Up. I really do want the most protection for my skin during the day. So we'll see how that goes. And then going in with this was really kind of a great experiment. The Terracotta Light in 01. It does have quite a bit of color to it, so I'm even more tan than I normally am with this powder, if that tells you kind of where everything falls in the range. This does provide a nice level of color. It wasn't too light. It actually is a bit deeper than my actual skin tone. So it added a beautiful glow. I think my skin looks really healthy today. I like the way it feels. I don't enjoy wearing foundation every day. And if I do, it's got skincare benefits in it. So just with the concealer, this powder, and actually these two together are going to become my new daily routine. Actually, before I end this video, I'm going to show some swatches because there were some requests. Thank you so much. And if I didn't have that product, I was unable to swatch it. The brush, I actually did like the brush with it. Just be careful though, because it picks up a lot of product as I anticipated. And it also deposits it quite densely. So I would probably start here and work out. Now, if you're going to just apply it as a dusting, I might try another brush that's not gonna pick up as much and not stamp it as much as this. This kind of stamps it on there. Maybe I need to do it with some other powders that I really like to stamp with. Maybe that's a really good purpose for this. But in terms of buffing in, you're gonna need to move it around a little bit if you go in with a lot right away, which is what can happen with this brush. Pleasantly surprised with this brush. I'll definitely use it with the Terracotta Light, but I think there's a bit of a learning curve here. So I'll experiment some more with this and see how it goes. So I'm going to move these three to my daily makeup area so I can get ready with these. As for this Camellia, really beautiful. I was expecting it, I don't know what I was expecting. I think this is quite a universal tone as well because it's kind of in the middle there. It has that, I think they called it a beige rose, but it does have like a peachiness about it. It's not pink, but it also has a little bit of a cool element too, which is why I think this is more universal. Yeah, I think it'll look good on a lot of skin tones. really beautiful. Yeah, so if you would like to get this, I'd pick it up. It does go on better than the swatch. The swatch, again, looked a little bit, I was a little bit afraid it was gonna look like the Hermes highlighter that I recently picked up, which I did not love. That one was not amazing on me. It was more separated and brought out texture. And you can see down the nose, I added it and it's very subtle. It's not anything beaming, although I wonder if you could build it up, but I really like it where it is right now. It's just about at that point with highlighter where it gets too bright for me. So it's still more on the subtle side. The closest thing I could think of that I had from Chanel is this powder right here. This is the illuminating blush powder from a previous collection, and I went ahead and swatched these. So here we have the RêVE de CAMÉLIA, and then this one is the Perle de Lumière. So you can see there's a difference in their colors. So this one is a little bit less gold. There's more gold in this one. It's a bit more neutral, and the particles are more fine in RêVE de CAMÉLIA. So I hope that helps in case you were looking at those two. And then I have several Guerlain products as well as a very well-known bronzer that I thought we could compare just to get a handle on where this powder falls in a range. And the first four are Guerlain products. So I swatched them in this order. I got the Terracotta Light first in 01. Then I have this one from the holiday, but it is medium 03. And it's the Terracotta Gold Bronze. So that's the one I have next. Then I have this medium in the Terracotta Matte. It's the sculpting powder. I brought this one out for reference because it has a very, very strong peachy hue to this. This is the Terracotta Golden Bee. And then the last one I swatched for you, which is one of my most loved bronzers, which had a similar tone. This is the Sisley bronzer. So here we have the Terracotta Light 01. So it is the lightest of the bronzers that I have, but you could see how much color was added to my face. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting how much color was added to my face. Then we've got the Terracotta Gold Bronze 03 Medium. So it's deeper and it also has a glow to it. So it's not like this one has a whole lot more glow than this one. Then this one is the Terracotta Matte. It's in medium, it's a cooler tone. And of course it's matte, so it doesn't have the glow. Then we've got the Terracotta Golden Bee, which has a lot more glow to it, more like the Sisley. This is the Sisley bronzer. These have the most glow to them. So you can see as a bronzer how much deeper the Sisley is versus this one. So this puts this though in the range of warmth of this one and of these. They are quite warm with that peach element in there. If you tuned into the swatch video, you'll notice that this here was not shimmery anymore after I swatched, but I think it's because of the way I swatched this. So when you go in with clean hands to swatch, you can see it looks more dull or less shimmery. So actually let me do this for the rest of them. It looks like this shimmer is taken off of there. However, when you go in with the brush, I'll go ahead and pick some powder up with the brush. Yeah, and you can see there now that the shimmer does go all the way through at least those deepest parts. And then you can see more shimmer in some of the other shades that I don't know if I noticed earlier. So there's shimmer built in here, but it's not as shimmery as something like the Golden Bee or the Sisley bronzer. But that is it for today's video. So much fun. I love playing with new makeup, seeing what it can do, experimenting, not always following the directions. And I think sometimes things turn out better that way. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Are you surprised at the color of the powder? Because I am. That's what surprised me the most, was the color of this Guerlain powder, that this light shade provided so much color. And like I said, I know it didn't say anything about adding it to your entire face, but had I just gone in with my regular concealer and then just bronzed like on the tops of the cheeks as if the sun had hit me, it still would have provided more color than my actual skin tone. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on these. Let me know if you picked up anything and what you think of them. I'd love to know. But that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other. Stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.